You know what it is. It's your guy, Rhett, Butler, and this is that pretty left hook. Hitting you with your goddamn liver every goddamn time. You know what? Today we're going to have a serious episode. If you haven't heard the news, Adrien Broner, the problem about billions, ABB, he decided to back out of his fight this weekend against Omar Figueroa, citing mental health issues. He went to his Instagram and he let the world know that he wasn't going to fight this weekend. He got 1.1 million followers on his Instagram. And he went to his stories, his gallery, all over, and let them know that it wasn't going down. And this is very surprising for a few reasons. One, we know that Adrien Broner is about all the shenanigans. This is what we do know. Two, he just finished some shenanigans with the media where he was laying in bed, and that was the second media interview. He was laying in bed because he felt disrespected by the promotion. He felt like the promotion wasn't taking the fight serious. They weren't investing the bread in the live press conference and all of that, even though a lot of the fights recently have had virtual press conferences. Danny Garcia's press conference was virtual, but he wasn't feeling none of that. I'm sorry. Danny Garcia's event week press conference was in person, but the pre-event press conference or media availability, I should say, media interviews was virtual. Adrien felt like they should be doing in person all the way through and through. And he went off on Steven Espinoza, Showtime Sports president, and also Al Heyman, his advisor and kingmaker to boxing stars everywhere, pretty much, and went off on them talking about they bullshitting and they not taking him serious. Of course, he has to always reference Floyd Mayweather, or y'all wouldn't have did Floyd like that, and all of that. Fast forward, because he told Brian Kenny he was pissed. I mean, I'm sorry, Brian Custer, the Showtime sports host, that he was pissed off about this, and he hung up the phone on him. Right. Then he does the press conference, or I should say the media availability interviews from bed, totally disrespectful to the media, right? Acting like you don't really want to do it. Then fast forward a little more, and then you back out the fight 6 days before the fight. Now, I'm going to tell you why this is crazy. Showtime just lost the Jake Paul Hasim Rahman fight. I was supposed to work that goddamn fight. And they cut that off like 6 days before the fight as well. Here goes their not next fight, because the fight after that, I believe, was Danny Garcia. But here goes another fight, and that's a wrap as well. So pretty much Showtime's having a really shitty August. But the thing is with Adrien Broner, right? We know that he has bad habits. We know that he embellishes a lot. And we also know when he gets frustrated, he gets emotional. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not coming for AB's neck right there. Pause. Because at the end of the day, fighters are always emotional because it's a one-man combat sport. This is not a team sport. And of course, in team sports, they get emotional too. But I will say this, and this is going to lead somewhere. So keep walking with me. When Adrien Broner says something like mental health is the reason why he's backing out of a fight, it feels a little suspicious. Just a little sus. In the words of my son, it's a little sus. Why is that? Because AB's about the bag. He's been talking about trying to get back to the top level. He's been having gripes with his promoter advisor. He's been having gripes with his network. He's constantly, telling the media about how he doesn't understand why him and Floyd Mayweather haven't sparred. He doesn't understand why Floyd hasn't allowed him to help get him to the next level financially, regardless of what he's done in his career. Mind you, he's been a champion in, I believe, 4 weight classes, multiple belts, but he feels like him and Floyd should have fought for a big bag. He didn't hit the Mayweather lottery, so to speak. And now against Omar Figueroa Jr., a fight that was supposed to take place before, he canceled it now 6 days before the fight. The fight was supposed to happen this weekend in AB's neck of the woods in South Florida. AB's from Cincinnati, but he trains mainly, and I think he even lives down in South Florida. They did everything for this, for this to happen the way he would like it to be. And he backed out 6 days before the fight. Now, Omar Figueroa Jr. had a lot to say about this. We're going to get into that as well. Of course, because his life was on the line, his bread was on the line. But Showtime bailed him out and put him up against Sergey Limpinets, former world champion. This guy's no joke. He's a Russian. The Russians go hard in the paint. They the new thugs of the game. You know what I'm saying? Eastern Europeans be thugging it out. It's not a game for the Eastern Europeos. You know what I'm saying? But they saved the game for Omar Figueroa. But he still had a lot to say to AB. And rightfully so. And of course, the boxing world weighed in. But we're going to get into what AB said first. So AB jumps on his Instagrams, and this is what he says. Man, I'm going through a lot at this moment in my life, but I ain't gonna give up. I set some more goals, and I ain't stopping until I finish what I started. But sorry to say this, but I'm not fighting #August 20th. Now, that was in the gallery. Here's the caption. Sorry to all my fans, but #mental health is real, and I'm not about to play inside the ring. I've watched a lot of people die playing with a boxing career, and that is something I won't do. Just pray for me. I love the sport of boxing too much to not give my all, and I feel like I came up short before because my mind wasn't 100% there, and I'd be damned if I make that mistake again. I need to make some changes for the better instead of worrying about other people's feelings and pleasing them, when in all reality, I have nothing to prove to nobody. I'm a 4-time world champion in 4 different weight classes, and if I never lace up a pair of gloves again, I feel like it's safe to say I will be inducted into the #Boxing Hall of Fame. So I have to step back and overcome this obstacle before I go put my life on the line inside the squared circle again. I know I'm far from being finished with the sport. All caps. See y'all soon. #respectfully, Red Heart, AB, at Showtime Boxing. I got to break this down a little bit because this is, there's a polarized reaction to this information. And we're going to talk about why, especially for those who are a little slang illiterate and don't understand social media context and conjecture and all the principalities of how he just put that together. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna give it to you the way you need to get it. Start AB. First, let's talk about what he actually said and why people are a little skeptical, a little sus, as my son would say, about the information. He says, I feel like I came up short before because my mind wasn't 100% there, and I'd be damned if I make that mistake again. Now, Adrien Broner has notoriously been a rapper in the clubs. One time he had his crazy belly from drinking champagne and chilling with Rick Ross all the time. He hasn't been about that boxing life 100%. Nobody's hating on a side career. Nobody's hating on other hobbies. Nobody's hating on a future in another industry. But when you boxing, as the old adage says, you can't play boxing. So if you become a rapper, an actor, or anything else in between, you're liable to get your whole head knocked the fuck off. That's a reality of the game. That's not me. That's not Rhett Pretty Butler telling you this. This is the whole goddamn truth. Any boxer that's worth his medal and his belts will tell you, man, all I need to do is box, sleep, and eat. Period. Because your window of opportunity is like that goddamn thing. It's short. On top of that, bruh, these young boys is coming up every goddamn day. They trying to come for your head. And he's not getting any younger. So I'd say the following. Broner has lost a couple joints, major joints, right? He lost to Mikey Garcia. I believe against who else did he lost a couple times. Lost a couple times. I'm saying all to say the following. AB is not what he used to be, right? It's the Tank Davis era. It's the Shakur Stevenson era. It's the Devin Haney era. It's the Clarissa goddamn Shields era. Okay, you got Tyson Fury over here retiring. He don't even want no more. He want no mas, man. He's done. And he came out on top, no losses. Right? We don't know if Deontay Wilder's coming back. The game has shifted. Adrien Broner has been well known to not be 100%. And we know why. He likes the club. Okay? He likes the strip club. He likes the club. He likes the rap life. He likes the studio. He likes the goddamn bottles. Why are we saying this? Because mental health is very serious. But the way he worded this, maybe he wasn't feeling 100% in training. Maybe he wasn't he's taking some L's to high profile individuals that he acted like he was going to off their Kofi. Manny Pacquiao. Like I said, Mikey Garcia. It's been a couple heads, man. And AB knows he's on his last legs in terms of viability in boxing. It's not that he's not a celebrity. It's not that he's not famous. It's not that we don't know who this man is. But the problem with boxing, because it's a blood sport, one, and two, it's based on prize fighting, not a league concept. We have to want to see you fight somebody that we think is equal to you to see who's going to get that prize. And AB has constantly shown us maybe he's not as motivated because maybe the fame was a little too heavy for him and he couldn't concentrate on the task at hand. Marvin Hagler once famously said, it's hard to get up in the morning to do road work when you're wearing silk drawers. AB's diamonded out. Like I said, he's kicking it with the rappers. He's outside heavily. Only Floyd Mayweather can do this successfully, by the way. Like, sometimes you can be a little too close to Floyd or you're watching his image and you think it's easily replicated. It's not. The man doesn't drink. He doesn't do a lot of things. But what he does do is make that money and win fights. So AB has kind of lost that. And through the shenanigans, through the shit talking, through the Instagram games that he plays and whatnot, and just showing his life in certain various ways, it's really hard 6 days before a fight to believe that Adrien Broner is going through a mental health crisis. Now, I will say that to say the following, and before I go back into his text, I'm going to preface that with, he's been showing us in plain sight he clearly has an issue with mental health. Clearly. He's done a lot of, things that are very erratic. He's been, jailed many times. Obviously, of course, he's a product of his environment in the sense that, some of these things, he didn't know any better. He's been influenced by certain elements. And obviously, boxing for him was a respite, a way out of certain situations in Cincinnati. And certain things, if you don't deal with it head on, such as emotional wellness, spiritual wellness, all that good stuff, it can lead you down dark paths while you're making a lot of money. And sometimes making a lot of money, when you haven't figured those things out yet, is the worst thing that can happen to you. Facts. But the timing, right? It's the timing, AB. Like, we rocking with you. There's nothing we can say bad about you taking care of your mental health. 6 days before the fight, never spoke like this before, and the shenanigans have always been afoot. All I'm saying is, brother, it's a long hill to climb for people to immediately believe what you're saying. I'm going to go back to what you actually stated, though, in this caption. I need to make some changes for the better instead of worrying about other people's feelings and pleasing them. So that could be your opponent. That could be the network. That could be Al Heyman, your advisor. That could be you trying to match your former big brother mentor, Floyd Mayweather's strength. Could be a whole host of things. Why is this coming out right now? Is this about the fact that you've been, using your money to take care of people, your family and whatnot? So you've been fighting with these things, going on, these demons in the back of your head the whole time. And now for some reason, this is the moment when you have to start letting us know what you've been dealing with. All of that is fine. All of that is fine. The timing is going to mess with you because you have another guy in Omar Figueroa Jr. that also has been having a mental health issue, and he's been very vocal and verbal about it. And this is not a very vocal or verbal guy. That's the crazy part. Of course, Omar felt some kind of way because, like I said, you almost offed his Kofi with his money if they didn't find him another opponent. But The timing. The timing. Um, even if I never lace up, this is AB. Even if I never lace up a pair of gloves again, I feel like it's safe to say I will be inducted into the hashtag Boxing Hall of Fame. I don't know, AB. I would love to say you could. I would love to say you guaranteed will. Your body of work, early AB, impressive, of course. The last couple years, it's like you allowed yourself to go into like the Antonio Brown zone. Weirdly, another AB. It's more about the shenanigans than the athleticism. Now, you didn't do anything in the sense of publicly being on a field and taking off your shirt and saying, get it, I'm gonna risk it all. I'm out of here, like Antonio Brown did against the Jets when he was with the Tampa Bay Bucks. But this might be that moment. Now, don't get me twisted. When you say mental health, it's an immediate life preserver, right? Who's gonna question it? Who's gonna say, "Oh, he's full of shit"? You can't say that. You're a whole asshole if you shit on this man's mental health journey. But at the same time, my man, people, oof, they got a short-term memory. Unless it's about things that they don't like. Then their memory is long like an elephant. Right now, most people are questioning your discipline. They're weighing that against your character. Remember, you've caught a couple situations where you did a girl in the club dirty. I think she was a dancer. You have assault charges out here. There's a lot of things that's been going on. You've been in and out of jail, even while getting to the bag. Again, all of these could be byproducts of mental health. But the whole time, you were still placating your Instagram audience, your social media audience. You're still kicking it with the artists, the rappers. You're still being very showy, being very flamboyant. Again, it's my hope that this is Adrien Broner finally coming to grips with who he actually is and being honest about the fact that he's been, for lack of better terms, posing and all of that, because polarization sells, right? If you're polarizing, you're going to sell a lot of tickets. You're going to be somebody that people want to see, whether they love you or hate you. That's the Floyd Mayweather effect. But I think Adrien Broner's starting to realize that's Floyd's thing. If you don't know who you are, and if you've been just kind of like falling into what you think is supposed to be done to be culturally relevant, pop culture famous, or just boxing big, maybe these are the things that's been weighing you down. Again, the timing, my brother, 6 days before the fight, sheesh, it's a lot. Um, Again, in terms of Boxing Hall of Fame, I have a vote. I know all of these brothers in the Boxing Writers Association of America that have votes. It's a tough crowd, man. We're a tough crowd. You don't have to be perfect, but you got to be consistent. I don't know, AB. You got to think about that one. So I have to step back and overcome this obstacle before I go put my life on the line inside the square circle again. I respect that, man. This is the only sport where if you die, nobody goes to jail. I know I'm far from being finished. Okay. With the sport. See y'all soon. Now, here's where he messed up. Hashtag respectfully. All right. Let me look. Some of y'all might be 100% L7 squares. You might not understand what this respectfully thing is, right? When you say respectfully at the end of a whole soliloquy like this, we don't know if you playing games or not, because respectfully in today's terminology is actually very disrespectful. It's like extremely disrespectful to say respectfully. Why is that, Rhett? Because respectfully is like, I'm saying some bullshit, but I'm gonna say respectfully at the end, so like, I'm not really trying to smash you. I'm not trying to like punch you or dish the shit out you, but I really am low key. But just take that, Puffy, take that. You know what I mean? Respect. It's like the let me ease my way into playing the shit out you. And that right there, small nuance, is why a lot of people aren't going to take this man serious. Should have left respectfully off. You know the double sides of the game. It's double entendre like shit, man. Leave it alone. Because Omar Figueroa feels disrespected. So if you say hashtag respectfully, you're setting yourself up to be looking like shenanigans. Why would you do that? Crazy. Um, I want to let y'all hear what Omar Figueroa had to say. He had a lot to say. As we all know, this is Omar Figueroa. My fight against that MF, see, he's going straight in. I'm not even going to say the words, but you know what it is. And I ain't talking about no MF Doom. As we all know, my fight against that MF Broner is off. Now, I don't mind. This is him. I don't mind because this is something we expected. See what I'm saying? The behavior. He said we expected this already, man. This is what I'm trying to say. Back to what Omar said. I don't mind because this is something we expected. So we had plans in motion to mitigate most the aftermath. What really, all caps, pisses me off is that now, all caps, this MF wants to use hashtag mental health as a fucking excuse. Caps, that I have a problem. Adrien Broner's nickname is the problem with, because that's BS exclamation point. You don't get to cry hashtag mental health now, MF exclamation point. Not saying you don't, caps, suffer from mental health issues as caps. We can all tell you do. Just don't use it as an excuse, caps, now after you've been undisciplined and not taking this fight training camp seriously, exclamation point. If it really, caps, is mental health, all caps. He's yelling at his ass. Please show us the proof that you went and saw professional help. You love to post all your shit on social media. Why not let us in on your mental health recovery? He puts a question mark. You don't get to undermine mine and countless others' journey and struggles with hashtag mental health because of your undisciplined, childish, dumb ass. Exclamation. Cover your ears, children, because he gets a little crazier. Hashtag fuck you, Broner. Exclamation. Just when I thought you couldn't stoop any lower, exclamation point. Yo, Omar Figueroa is pissed off. Now, let me let you understand something. If you've been in training camp 3 months, 2 months, a month, 6 weeks, whatever it's been, right? The shit sucks. You gotta wake up early, jog, food deprivation, all kind of things, sex deprivation. There's a lot of deprivation. The motivation is the bread. The fight date is this is when I get to stop all this and get at this dude that I've been wanting to get, my fists on his face and get my money. Broner yanks that opportunity from him, right? Now, again, Showtime saved the fight. Sergey Limpinets jumped in, but Adrien Broner's a bigger name. For Omar Figueroa, if successful, that would have been a major situation for him. Yeah, it would have been bad for Broner if he loses, but for Omar Figueroa, this would have been huge. You know what I'm saying? It's a huge stepping stone. So he's pissed off. Sergey Limpinets is no hoe. Let's get a fight. But at the same time, he wanted to fight Adrien Broner. He's been training for Adrien Broner, but we did get a clue that he felt like the shenanigans were going to be afoot when he said, we expected, so we had plans in motion to mitigate most of the aftermath. He felt like AB was about that bullshit the whole time. So that's what he was on. Now, I'm going to tell you something for those who don't understand. Omar Figueroa, who doesn't really talk a lot, like this is kind of like a regular low-key guy that fights or whatever on a high level. He recently was speaking to a reporter last week about his actual mental health diagnosis, not a self-diagnosis, but a real diagnosis. No disrespect, respectfully, I'm talking shit, right? AB respect. Figueroa was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, ADHD, depression, and PTSD. This is what he said to a reporter. This is something that 90% of the people go through, but everyone seems, when they're having problems, to think it's just them. Facts. We all been a victim of depression, all these kind of things, man. Even your boy, man. Listen. He didn't know at that time that Adrien Broner was going to pull up the fight. He definitely didn't know Adrien Broner was really going through some mental health issues. But this is what Figueroa said. Now, I just read to you a scathing rebuke, an excoriation, if you will, of Adrien Broner by Omar Figueroa Jr. Deserve it. He was getting ready to fight this guy.
6 days you yank it away. He might not have had no paper from this. Showtime saved the day, right? So that's that. But I'm going to let you know as well, there have been some fighters supporting Adrien Broner. Ryan Garcia, the young bull, stepped in and said on Twitter, "Love you, AB. I know it's not that easy to step back and take time from the ring, but no doubt, taking this time, you will come back healthier and stronger. Focusing on your mental health is not weakness, it's strength." That might have been a jab at Omar Figueroa, but I don't know, because Omar didn't say he was weak. He just said he was childish and a dumbass, but whatever. "You got my support. Hashtag mental health awareness." For those who don't know, Ryan Garcia actually took a step back himself and focused on his mental health because he was battling depression. And in February, he kept it real about that. He even admitted that things got so bad he wanted to kill himself at one point. And I want to take a quick sidebar real quick. There's a lot of talk about CTE in football. We don't talk about it as much in boxing. Unfortunately, you can't measure CTE until a person has passed and they look at the brain. But what we do know is that with repeated hits to the head, CTE sets in and it sets off a whole other wave of things, right? That are not good. I think we're starting to see in boxing that we need to start paying attention to this more as well. I know we like the game. I know we love the sport. I know seeing somebody wearing a helmet, while they're fighting, protective headgear, is kind of like, wearing a Jimmy when you want to really go, But at the same time, you're starting to see mental health being a real issue out here. I mean, it opens up and gives some credence to the fact that Houston, we might have a whole goddamn problem. Woo. It's crazy. It's real. Clarissa Shields reached out. She said she's supporting AB. Right now, Omar Figueroa is not believing anything that son is saying. I mean, it's crazy. I actually looked this up because I wanted to give y'all some real facts because obviously I'm a black man. I take this shit serious. Mental health issues are relatively common in the black community at large, according to Forbes. Some of these things I'm going to say is real obvious. According to the National Institute on Minority Health and Health Disparities, African Americans are 20% more likely to experience serious psychological distress, such as a major depressive disorder, than white Americans. Why? Police brutality, adverse conditions, food deserts. I mean, there's a bunch of things, right? There's a lot of other mental health issues that come from people's parents, grandparents, and there's a lot of generational trauma gets passed down. And there's a lot of things that go on with this, right? Rates of major depressive disorders in young black adult males aged 18 to 25 increased by more than 3% from 2015 and 2018, according to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. Yet, Black Americans of all age groups are less likely to seek treatment than white Americans. U.S. Department of Health and Human Service Office of Minority Health reports that Black adults are more likely than white adults to experience persistent symptoms of emotional distress, such as sadness, hopelessness, and feeling that they have to dedicate extra effort into everything they do. Listen, y'all, mental health is real. We 100% know it. I feel for AB because he's put himself in a bit of a quandary, right? Real or not real, he does a lot in a jokey way, in a hood famous way, and he's done certain things that allow people to not like him and not want to take him serious when you start talking about a serious topic, especially when the timing is so close to the event and you've never discussed having a mental health issue before. Now, I wanted to say those things about Black men in terms of what studies have shown, because it is a fact that many Black men are not prepared to discuss that publicly because there's feelings of shame and other things attached to saying you have a mental health issue. So again, we got to salute AB for even coming out and saying this. Again, the timing is going to constantly make people question the motive. Steven Espinoza, president of Showtime Sports and also its GM, says on Twitter, "Nothing but respect for Sergey Limpinets, never hesitates to take tough fights.
Mikey,
Garcia.
Lamont Peterson, Clayton, Jaron Ennis, among others, and he's never in a boring fight. Now he steps in on 5 days' notice to take on Omar Figueroa this Saturday. All action matchup. He said that in relation to or responding to Sergey Lipinet's tweet where he wrote, "That's why you got to love the sport of boxing. There is always an opportunity, and I was just given one. Be ready. Fans won't be disappointed. Never said no to a fight in or out the ring." Damn, Sergey, we don't want no smoke on the streets, bro. Get your money. Why am I telling you this and reading these people's tweets? Because for Steven Espinosa, it's business as usual. Broner already came for him. He said he wasn't shit. It's bullshitting and all this. So I hate to say this because mental health is real, but this might be the AB swan song with Showtime. I have no idea what the backdoor situations are for him with that network and all of that. But I know this. Steven Espinosa just lost a big-ass fight at Madison Square Garden with Jake Paul and Hassan Rahman, and he almost lost another one. He ain't trying to take too many L's. This is a 100% businessman. He's used to winning straight up. And like DJ Khaled said, and they're going to Miami this weekend, all I do is win, 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 no matter what. He got Sergey Olympians to get up out of bed. He's going to be on weight. He's going to fight Omar Figueroa Jr. So, AB, you got Hall of Fame aspirations. You're saying you're going to come back to the game. Understand this. Before you think about any of those things, take care of this first. Figure out who you are. Become one with self. And relax on the shenanigans. Relax on the fight hype. And please put your damn phone down. Fuck Twitter, bro. Fuck Instagram. That might be part of the thing that's driving you a little nutty. There's a lot of influences out here. There's a lot going on. Search within, my man. Boxing, schmoxing. That's money. That is what that is. Figure out you first. You done made some money. Sit back, relax. Stop trying to show the world that you got the bag. Stop trying to be Mr. IG. And finally discover who you are. We know your name, bro. You did that part. Now figure out the rest later. My name is Rhett Butler. Shout out to the Up On Game Presents Network. You already know what it is. My man Ricardo, Dustin, Vito, of course, the homie Blanco, and the big homie LeVar Arrington. What's good, baby? It's your boy, man. Follow at Pretty Left Hook Podcast on Instagram, at Pretty Left Hook everywhere else. And you know what the fuck it is. It's your guy, Rhett Butler, and that. Well, that was your Pretty Left Hook. Hitting you in your goddamn liver. Mental health is real, bitches. Pay attention.